Luke Bonner, I'm the Senior Economic Development Advisor for the City of Sterling Heights. I'm on with Stacy Ziarko, the President of the Sterling Heights Chamber, Steve Couchman with Live Picture, who's essentially our technical director here this morning to make sure this cast goes on without a hitch. And our guest speaker is Tom Alonji, partner at UHY in Sterling Heights. Tom, thanks for joining us, and I know you're going to go over the recent CARES Act, specifically the SBA payroll protection program for small businesses. If you don't mind, let us know kind of what's going on out there and what companies can begin preparing for and what to expect.
Yeah, thank you, Luke. Thanks again for pleasure to join you this afternoon. Yes, there's a lot going on. Obviously, it's unprecedented times, and we look at our client base that, you know, and across the, you know, obviously even Sterling Heights, almost the majority of them have been impacted. The government has come out with a response that's been, you know, to hopefully, stimulate, you know, the economy back when we get back open after this virus. And there are two main programs out there that really are going to have the most impact for most businesses. There's an economic disaster loan, what we call an EIDL loan, and there's also a paycheck protection program out there. Those two programs. Now, in certain circumstances, it may make sense for some clients to apply for both. You can do that, and can be the EIDL program can be refinanced as part of the PPP program, as we call it, the Payment Protection Program. But back from a high level, the Paycheck Protection Program really looks at your average payroll over the last 12 months. There's been some changes just recently, as last night, that the SBA is looking at 2019 average payroll. And, you know, that should include your payroll, your health insurance, any 401k, state unemployment at a very high level. Again, it's fluid, things are changing, but that's to give you a good average. You take that monthly average times 2.5 times to give you your max loan amount, okay? So let's just say, you know, a client, the max loan amount comes out to be $1 million, right? From the time they receive that loan during an 8-week period, right? As long as they maintain a level of employment similar to pre-virus employment, and they use 75% of those proceeds to pay payroll costs, then that loan is forgivable. Okay, I am giving you the Cliff Note version of this. So, but the Cliff Note version is if you use those proceeds within that 8 weeks, that loan will be forgiven. If you don't use all those loan proceeds during that 8-week period, whatever is left or that is not forgiven during that period is then a loan for 2 years at 0.5%. And that is brand new information that just came out last night. That may change, but that was the latest information that we saw from the SBA. So this program really is beneficial for those companies that have pretty heavy payroll to carry. So that's where, I mean, majority of our clients, this is the right program for them because of the amount of monthly payroll that they have to carry. You know, whether June 30th will be the true date, you know, as this virus has kind of spread and we thought, you know, is moving out a little bit longer than we thought. But that is, you know, very much the Cliff Note version of that loan. It is unsecured. There's no guarantee. To apply, we are really advising those clients to be in communication with their current lender. The majority of the local banks in here in Michigan will be either approved as an SBA lender for a PPP program, or they already are approved SBA lenders. So We're getting lots of emails from the banks saying that they are going to be ready by Friday, April 3rd, but some will likely, slip into next week just because the situation has been very fluid and changing. But that is your best route. I know there's applications out there on the SBA website, right? But be familiar with those, gather your information, right? And be ready to really, apply as soon as you can with your local lending lender. So that's very, very important. The economic disaster loan is it's a smaller loan. It works really well for maybe clients that don't have as much payroll, right? But are, enduring quite a bit of pain too. So, those loans are up to $2 million. The interest rate, I believe, is either 2.75 or 3.75. And those can be from loan terms up to 30 years. We expect most of these loans will be in the 5-year range, is what we expect. But there is a potential personal guarantee for any loan that is greater than 200,000, and some of these loans may require collateral for loans greater than 25,000. Now, the SBA can waive that. So we haven't seen exactly what they're going to do. Some of my clients have applied, and as recently as last night, the SBA is telling them to go in and reapply under their, new streamlined method. So there is a new process out there that we think is going to help expedite these loans. We believe the SBA became probably overwhelmed, and so hopefully that will help. But these two loans are very, very important for any local businesses. Please do not wait. And if you need assistance, we're here to help you. But the application process is fairly straightforward. I know there's a lot of little nuances. I can't get into all of them, but at a high level, these are two very, very good loan programs. There's a lot of smaller grants and packages out there by by the counties, the MEDC. So make sure you review, and if you go to our website, UHY, www.uhy-us.com, we have a whole coronavirus list of everything that's available, and all of our e-alerts that give you updates to help you navigate through this time.
Tom, quick question for you. As a business owner, who should I be pulling in on my team of experts to get through this process? I mean, obviously, a strong banking relationship is very important. I need to have a strong relationship with my accountant, right, who can help me get the proper tax returns together for that application. But who else should comprise a team right now as they're going through this process? Who should they be looking towards?
Yeah, obviously, your trusted advisors are very important. We don't have a lot of time, but your controllers, your bookkeeper that need to gather this payroll information or any information that's available. But also, most importantly, too, is on your team is that we really institute, with all of our clients is, to have a 13-week forecast, understand the cash needs of what, you're applying for. Is it enough? Is it going to carry you? So, as many team members that can help you through this process. I had a call this morning with a client, and they had their whole team involved. I mean, people I wouldn't normally think are involved. They're all involved helping because they know it's for their survival. So there's lots of lots of questions. So as a team, obviously legal attorney, legal CPA, your controller, and the owner. Most important team here.
I've got one other question for you as well. Application goes in to your lender. What's the expected review time, approval time, and then how long do you think it would probably take to have that money in your account to begin utilizing?
If I knew that, I'd be golden. we've talked to many lenders and they don't know. They just don't know, because what's happening with a lot of the banks is what we think is they're saying is we're really, some of the banks, not all of them, are going to service just their clients because it's just so much. They can't physically process this many loans. So I would say, I think, and I really hope that we'll see probably this money, it'll probably be sometime in May. I think you're a good 4 to 6 weeks out. That's just my gut. I hope it's faster. But even on the SBA, the disaster loans that we, as soon as those programs came available, I mean, my client, it's been almost 2 weeks now. And, they asked them actually to reapply. So it's probably still 4 to 6 weeks. It could get longer depending on, I think the banks are trying to figure out exactly their exposure in all this. So it's very fluid right now. It's just not clear. And we've talked to a lot of our close lending relationships, and, they hope to have the application process up and running and they hope to submit, but they don't know, because it still has to go through the SBA for final approval. Oh.
Right. Stacy, do you have any final questions for Tom before we let him go and get back to his work?
I have one. In terms of both of these, the payroll protection loan grant, who is eligible to apply for that? What type of businesses are under the category of being able to apply?
Yeah, that's a good point. So, on the EIDL loan, the biggest point there really is that you have to show that you've been, economically harmed, and you have to fit under the small business, what we call size table there. So it really is for small business. For the PPP program, eligibility is for, in almost all cases, companies less than 500 employees. There are exceptions. Again, there's an SBA table that you actually on the website, and if your NAICS code, like I had a client that has more than 500 employees, but on the NAICS code, the limit of SBA lending is actually 1,000 employees. So it's the greater of. But you'll see in the NAICS code, many of them don't have any employees listed for those. So then it's the 500, okay? So there's an exception for, I think, for NAICS code 72, which is hospitality and restaurant. But, you need to look at that table. So just because you're over 500, you may still be eligible. Now, I've had another client that's over 500 and their NAICS code is, 100 employees. So it goes to the 500. So, but, most companies, really a lot of businesses here are going to be eligible. Absolutely. And, there are affiliation rules. That's, a little more complex area that seems to be, hurting maybe some private equity groups. That's up for, they're trying to get some, something to change there. But for the most part, a vast majority of clients or companies will apply. And we have on our website a side-by-side comparison analysis of these two programs. That's on our website. That'll give you the exact details of every line item. I couldn't touch on everything in a short period of time, but those will give you all the exact details of each program.
Tom, PPP has a special exception for independent contractors and self-employed, correct?
Correct.
Right.
That is correct. Yep.
Which has typically not been the case with SBA,
Correct.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. There's lots of exceptions and nuances. So I encourage everyone, to go on the website. There's a good summary of the two plans that'll help you. And if you have questions, reach out to us. It is complex. We're still, everyone's drinking out of a fire hose, and everyone has a few little differences how that they read things. But our team, our task force has spent a great deal of time to, analyze this thing as much as possible and make sure everyone's prepared as much as possible. Because this is extremely, extremely important. This funding for those companies that don't get this will be, the longer this goes out, the risk of survival of some of these businesses will certainly diminish. It'll be difficult. So we don't want to see that. We know this too shall pass. So preserve cash. Let's get to the other side, and I think we'll be okay.
Okay, fantastic. Tom, thanks so much for being on. We greatly appreciate it, and I know whoever ends up viewing this is going to be very, very appreciative as well. And Stacy and Steve, thanks a lot as well. So thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good day, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.